Oh, I'm loving that I'm feeling good. I had a Red Bull earlier today, so I'm still fucking ramped up. I'll probably crank one of those later, along with the sweet tea. About after a 5 mile run is where I'm living. Let's get some content up here real quick. Anything I got running? Just me in the background, running some other notes. I like where I'm going with this, so let's keep that
Okay,
simple.
hey, Trent.
I just want to fuck with them
In
tonight.
my class model. No.
It's gonna sound like that. This is a great experiment right here. You're gonna see some things. Oh yeah, that's what a lot of this is about for review. And in here, you can get away with a lot. One, I wear a mask, so if I want to mumble to myself all damn day while I'm arguing with the Ketter sitting on top of this thing, which is these pallets of 90-pound 5-footers, early end phase, different differential before I had any of that lined up. Here I'm still just the apprentice. Working my way to Donald Trump, right? Okay.
Okay, so class notes.
Where was it, bro? Love it.
Okay, sorry. I've actually been working this a little bit here. We'll do a quick little tutorial. I don't know, not a tutorial, but I'll show you what I can do with it, with the Sable. A couple little bit augmentations that you do. You mess up, you figure out a couple that look cool and do, so I'm checking it on camera anyways.
Like everything. This lockpick right here. Everything
like
right now. This Fermilab. It's here. I feel it. How do I know?
Like some of those other things you can do with it. I forget a couple. I'm going to look a couple up real quick. But again, I want to break down the initial foundation.
You gotta push it.
You know, from here, there's a lot you can do. Some of it's showy, some of it's
At this point in time, with me in that deck,
setting up a magic trick.
Oppenheimer, Valentine, Buddha, Shifnu. I crack open the Bible, hit it to move a mountain. Why? Because it's the page that it's on. 316, 88, pause 888, AR 15, 0-1, brother. Boot camp. This is your bedtime story.
And get your card. You know, in that form of the technique, that's a flourish. That's what that
Come to my mountain to live.
is.
Usually I walk in Donnie's because that's where Donnie's is. Because Stevens is the Saws. It's right there. I see it. Ready?
You know, it's a good break, good way to shuffle the deck. I mean, there's simpler versions of that. Come here, roll it over this way.
Carry the one? Yeah.
Come back, fold it back in. You know, you can double that over. By getting this case involved, bringing it back over, you know, you can even bring that around off the top. You know, come back around with it.
Oh, wow.
Split this up any which way you want.
Make a mess.
You know, if you're going fast about it, Speedster generally makes those stumbly breaks that...
Absolutely. When I'm bringing up the mass gap, when I got my field theory in front of me, because it's my imaginary one, you know I got it. It's right here. In the Pokeball, no problem. Okay, because it'd be that at the Fair Lucy. We're just busting out 5-cent psychology, 100% Doomslayer, HTT programming on this piece of paper is general relativity, saw program, and bilingual sign language, right? And that'd be the card. Internal containment for the housing. Irrational numbers, the bunny. I, H, but, whatever you do. Whatever they're doing.
You would naturally come across...
Voodoo you do.
While doing things. I take this as a bow staff example as well.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when you're actually working
bow staff,
some of the material is... You get out there...
Combative. This is hammer on the thing when I'm rock facing, right? This is the angle of the thing.
That new over the shoulder because that's the setup for that, and you didn't have that setup before. The left-handed variations on this,
Red Dawn
right-handed variations
wants none of this. None of that. But I don't really want to have to take on their little Russian potato soup lady neither. I don't none of it.
Or from the right hand, you know, you still got to be able to do those. Maybe it's a different feeler or something, a different setup that goes faster, maybe you can start from that technique in a given pattern.
Probably
It's certainly going to increase your
18, I think.
Again, I'm just at that phase with it where I'm still, not that any one of those break techniques are super great to me, I'm still losing.
You want to be able to do this.
One with some of these.
This is a refining technique for a lot of reasons.
That I want for what that is I'm learning these techniques and bringing them through. Right there, you're fired. You're a magician, right? Get out. There you go, fired. Anyways, I thought that was a cool little note. Shows where you're going as you're building. You always find this one in the mill, but this one's real fast.
Sometimes.
And a good way to do it. You don't
just they send you to it to get the MCATS training.
Pick it up because they're super fast in the mill while programming saws. You start with the mud and the scrap up front that you're picking out by hand, then you do it all with the skid steer at some point in time, pushing it all in the back, and then you pick it out by the side doing half bays that day, and you find out that it's kind of almost like pick it out but bring it up through. Pick through mud version or don't pick through mud version, follow that out. You get there, the fine-tuning, adjusting of what that number really actually looks
fucking
like.
Gorillas.
Totally different. Catch you on the next one.
Hey, like I said, this is the block. I could take the whole day by the trail cam and break down their Vegas Diamonds Are Forever 007 Mission Impossible Edge of Tomorrow stuff. So Stephen could, Donnie could. That's the number that defines the in there the demand of what the system is. And Doomslayer. Scarlet King, the Yellow King, I've taken on them all. Cthulhu's Click, I showed up, man.
He said, hey, train plants every day. Jordan Scoble coming at you from the STEM lab this morning. So we'll just do a day review.
One of them. Give me Dragon.
Progress analysis report, station analysis report today. And generally what's the going on. So we'll start on
it's your break rotation. Like see that motivation.
It was just a little dark for us yesterday. It was a little dark for me yesterday.
Things you don't talk about physics. There was a line on that line, whether we hit that line later or not.
That'll be alright as long as we keep a track of what's going on. We're a guy down. Usually he's running these buckets while I'm running the other heavy wall buckets for the other machine. But we split it down the other way. We got a guy down there. He's splitting. He's kicking out some heavy wall, which is that's going to be the regular material. We did a lot of the heavy wall material out of that already.
Think about that ground, guys. They take up a lot of fucking. They're bulldozers for a lot of opportunity.
We'll have to get to that.
In a couple of different regards. But from on the bottom of it, you clean it up, you get it right. I'm thinking about maybe some strap knee stuff. Get the Hogmans, cut them up, strap up the boots, so I can save on mud and jeans. Just keep it at the work site. If I keep it away from the saws on unloading by hand, and usually the torch and the hose don't get you too bad. You can certainly just pound it off at night there, maybe.
This is not
get her done. That's brown mud. It's different.
So it's hard to tell from what material, but you can kind of look in stages for the day and see
goddamn savages.
The month, the week, the person.
Me and you, buddy. I get up, you
things
get.
Like that come up, but this is kind of past where we were. I haven't had this, and I don't think neither is the other new guy. Everything else has been back there for a while. Certainly a season or two.
Just go ahead.
Adding up.
Patrol.
And that's the main split here. So none of that really to what doesn't go in here, shouldn't be in here, garden path in here, that makes for a problem in your separation setup. You got to clean all this back up.
Like I said, then you're out there in the court with them. This is
so
why.
That's the pump over here. And again, you're trying to grade from the machine. You'll be on and off a bunch doing this process, checking it to make sure it's good.
Gloves everywhere. Put it down.
Stuff out by hand, getting back in, finish them in, filling in the bucket, tighten that off, try to get some of the bigger ones in there on top of the
lose it all, yeah.
Separate it out down here. Get your grounding, that ground set up down, kind of slip, trip, fall, don't lose your hammer kind of a thing. It's like, how is losing your you're happy because it is.
Because it.
But other than that, generally I try my best to grade buckets or grade material. Or
I saw a lot of AC. Watching a lot of
let's say
Angry Cores, Lynch Drill Sergeant. The combination of those two give you the sharp sky. It's the Lynch is compared to AC, bringing down furnace on. You shit, you shower, you shave, you go to sleep, Mason Robot. You do exactly as you're fucking told, baby.
You already have 4 buckets in here, which you dump one, fill one.
Right now, early in. This is day 0.
Straight edge over here. Garden
Welcome to
paths,
Earth.
maybe coping, straight edge garden path. That's about 3. Pulling some of that
Gray
stuff
alien
out.
back there. I need you to run his numbers. I don't expect you to run. You look like you could do physical rock like that. I don't think so. Use your brain.
And for what dump that is, or what part of the ground that
Got an
is,
alien
you take
spacecraft.
an Excel picture of all that, and you want to kind of quote that out. Now that's your general overall. Now later on, given certain processes, or what you may be dealing with, cost
whole day.
ratios change on a calc game.
This
like
wound
that
up being
long-term
a whole day review right here because they
like
dumped
you
in
can
another
imagine a
pile.
finished set, right?
Under snow,
There's a big-ass
bedrock,
pile of
straight edge.
big-ass pile of garden path
I'm
over
going to
here.
get that done
All
over
your
there.
buckets are done.
Got a team member
It
now.
took that many buckets to want to run that for the heavy straight edge material, or that could be heavy wall today, depending if we need the order. We will be. It's easier just to set these out, good for jumpers. So it's just a good number for it.
We'll
But
turn
as you
into
count
straight
through
edge.
the
Then
days,
the
actually
yard
winds up
and
having
by the
to have
guillotine
3
winds up
regular
loaded. That
buckets,
thing is
well,
packed
4 or
with
5
straight
regular
edge stuff.
buckets.
It goes off to the thing, or is it going in the garbage? They're getting
2 or
rid
3
of
straight
it. It's
edge,
money.
depending on the
You
load.
know, I
If
mean,
it
you
was
see
a
strips
straight
here
heavy
trying to
wall,
get out everything in the
well, that was
filter
5
paper
buckets on
bag
the load.
stuff.
And you kind of take a picture of that, you mark that down on your little tally sheet or whatever you're doing for your review for the day. And it's not just the day, that's also ground tracking, that's order tracking, what if you wanted to do, I want that rock with this order for based on the yield of the ground that's in there, how long you'll be in that area or close to that area.
So you
to
see it.
mix
It was just like
loads
staring at you
together.
that day. Yep. The number, you got to have it.
Picking one
Or
give you a
it was
good
the
rational
number.
to look at,
Just
but
looking at you
also,
like, about ready to mash you.
like,
Yeah.
is it more efficient to switch
No,
down
man.
those for straight edge?
Coming at you, Donnie. Donnie's
But
tough, man.
straight edge pallet,
Like I said, he called me in the middle once. He's like, I'm out there fucking
Now,
grinding.
if the order was going that way, or is it more beneficial to set up piles and know that number for labor time ratings, turnover systems, and stuff like that? Because one of them, you're not going to be doing it out here. It might be faster. So you kind of take
I want
that
the
and
bunny
adapt
side.
that number, the numbers. And you want to go ahead and make sure you do that. Again, the best way I can
You
describe
fall into it, it's a black hole. You're not careful with it. Kill
it.
age.
And then why separate certain things? Well, this
things opposite. This on the war. Oh, and the skid steer could be off. Some Karen could bitch about a thing, and it's like me. You need to walk away.
Percentageably, there's going to be a lot less regular in here. So kick time, percentage a lot less thin.
Life of Pi right there. You can see what happens.
Somebody, and how are you going to go through that like that? And those numbers are again good practice. This is that variation or that degree, that angle that says out of all this other perfect standard and ways of the world, this is the way we do it. There's a safety, quality, quantity. Because this is a station. This is a machine to a certain degree. It follows process. This comes down, it cuts this thing. I come in there, pull out a rock.
You get off the lift, get in the frozen, lift them up, get out there. I mean, lift them up. You're back. Saved you off there. I mean, you can. It's a kick over. Trick on it.
Alright, catch you on the next one.
Like I said, dump it in. I'm surprised I didn't get that one in there right next to this. Awesome game. Awesome game. Right there. This is just something that says not about the spirit, the table here. Like, especially this. This turns into something fun. Which is very interesting. You get some plague stuff about you don't really see nor hear a bunny or see any shiny lights. Well, anyway. Figure that one out. You tell me. Yeah, go ahead and tell me. Matter of fact, I got a load here. This thing. Of course, you could slide through this wreckage right here, and you definitely find it.
Coming at you this.
Keep popping them up. Throw them up in there. You just pushing by. Well, I like it on the principle up to the point where he's ripping people's teeth out. My teeth.
I'm still on my. Hey, Master Mason, don't coming at you. Halloween special. Tell you what, buried that monster today though. Whew. Fighting it, I wanted to get it done before lunch. It was just a big pile.
Rivery stuff.
It's all right. It's all good.
Pick through, tiny, little. Gotta make it out of it. Put it in a regular pile. Bulldoze it. You can't pick it up.
There's a bunch of monsters in there, and they are some beasts. That whole pile was a gnarly, snaggletooth looking
Halloween special.
Just absolutely ghoulish. But I took her out. So the rest of the day.
Marshmallow, get it up. Wrap it up. You see blue light.
Switch over into another pile. Just work some more Lular stuff. I gotta get my veneer going. I didn't find much anything in that. But it's all good. I made a lot of it. Didn't have a lot of trash in it.
Like I said, you catch a ranger because you got that badge on you at recruiter station. He's like, "Oh, I'm AR670-1, huh? That's shiny over there."
Sun's just cracking up.
Oh,
Take a look at the skid steer.
Space Force.
Good.
That's good steer.
Gas them up if need be. Come up here, start sorting and grinding. Got a pallet. Get that done here by the end of the day. That's somewhere in here. If I gotta grab some out of that pile.
Going probation later just fucked like that. You think I give one shit about your drug and alcohol? Bullshit. Come on.
Regular, a bucket of thin. So we'll probably be 2 or 3 buckets.
No, I'm gonna be a sweetheart. Name Marshmallow. Just a sweetheart. And your ass is gonna be a bunny. Nice squishy marshmallow waiting.
Depending on how much over there.
That day you walk in, I don't want to be here anymore. Well, you can put your thumb. You hear that voice? You put your thumb on that route right there and catch it. Well, you're putting one of them on, right? Get your pinky in. Bye. I bet you go home.
Check. Drug and alcohol today. It should be fun. Just looking like wait, you never seen a dead guy before? Fuck. That's a day after or Edge of Tomorrow. No. Something wrong with your suit. The dead guy. No kidding. Old Blue Shield is like, I don't see what the problem is. Doesn't bother me at all. I can bury it all the time anyways. It doesn't make any difference to me. Shit. Just a fun game we do. Jaegers. What can I tell you?
Talking like 4 or 5 buckets regular, 3, 4, 5 buckets of thin, a pallet of garden path every day, and feeding buckets like 4, 5, 6 buckets of straight edge, and separating heavy wall boulder. Oh yeah.
How I know this machine's doing what it's supposed to do and exactly what it's supposed to do, and then there's just the turn ratio on the stick. You get a whole pile of this stuff like that.
Figure out what that is. As soon as we get off the bottom, we get that stick game figured out. All that scrap wood, mud goes away. Home 45.
You're late. A butterfly. Here you go. You get moving, buddy. So fun today. Fun. Oh, like I said, every day monsters. I go to war with them every day. Weighing the resistance. Yep. There's a piece of regular. Yep. Anyways, that's my home. Living on a motivated island today. A motivated mountain. That's where we live. Lost Nations. We live on motivated mountain. got the Air Force's escape velocity problem, right? You know, NASA, the high end of it.
Because there's an astronaut Navy SEAL out there, and his ass is salty, I'm sure. Maybe not because he's a salty asshole, but more about just he's your sweetheart existing.
You got Motivated Island just in it, rolling around in it, you know. Just take on that
It's
wall.
being 6'7", 300 pounds, hung like a fucking elk. What do you want?
You got the Navy SEALs.
Nunchaku.
Bake me that cake. You know, you're trying to bake a cake in a sugar cookie factory. Boy, you gotta be good. And, of course, Special Forces. Everything is Special Forces in here. You got dumpster turns. It's all work. All work. But
The lonely old two feather out here.
And it's general relativity to special relativity kind of thing. Stonemason.
Yeah, that's Mason. I go all day about this shit right here. Make your happy asses fucking die with that motivation. Oh, because.
What happened? Huh? You over. You tripped? I needed
That's packed. That's packed. Like I said, you're not here to learn how to take this guy there. You're there and you're here to learn how to play the Reaper. Right? You're gonna plan out your tomb. It's not the run. There's another one.
I know what a broken leg looks like, and that is not broken. Come on, Clark.
It's right there. And it's like, feeling good now? Yeah, got motivated. Good.
If you ain't dying, you're humping. Aye, sir. We
Bah.
hope we die. Aye, sir. So get up there right there now. Put your trash on, grab your weapons, get them off the deck,
I
and
make
get up
them
there and quit fucking stopping because we want to break. Aye, aye, sir.
Very
Aye,
nice.
aye.
Something like that. This takes a long time to set up. This is one of several, I mean, in terms of a course, this refines down into 90-day Master Mason challenge where it's like, oh, really? I heard about Neil. CP Foundation, yeah, in July. And this guy, he took it, so give it to him.
You guys paint.
Multi-world circumstances.
Master Mason, nope. Take a moment to talk about gravity. I was just watching a commercial.
If you were a
Little
psychologist,
Caesars.
a Master Mason, and had to do a review on your dude, it's like,
Masons.
you're gonna say, what about him? You want to do what?
Nation gravity bed.
What?
Little Caesar comes in, two things are certain in this world: death and Little Caesar's pizza being there when you pre-order. Fair ball. Am I looking at a Master Mason handshake from across the room, played off in time space, or we just Little Caesars, and then, if truly death, how do I know that pizza's going to be there? Well, the pizza is there, so the cat is clearly in the box. We understand the physics. In the simulator you can put whatever. It could be a field, your backyard, or the White House in the background of the pizza place, and I think it was. So it's a fun little note about making realization connections. I didn't realize that until I was thinking about that gravity note on this, and then was it the Capitol building in the background? That's a good one.
You gotta keep moving, try not to stay dry. He's obviously dead.
There you go, you're out there. Is it a handshake or is it a good one about that Kel? Because you put those two out there. You put a kid on that string, you sent him downrange on the railgun.
It doesn't matter the setup, doesn't matter the saws. It could be upside down.
Keep moving.
Anti-gravity boots. It's about be 2 or 3 of us doing that, because usually
So the program
Tim,
tutorial,
Tony.
Again, what is the program? I like to see kids coming to the reference. You coming into the workforce? I'll hand
Give me
you
this
a
box,
stack of
please.
paperwork. Hand you this, and we'll talk. that ground, you death. You dead. Everybody's dead in here. You run every single matrix, time variables,
Yeah,
literally
push
run
it.
them out on the saw. Take those
Push it.
condensed variables of them and you lay them across the paperwork at the desk. You know, this is cut coefficients for the week. Stuff hits the whiteboard in the office. Those are, if you don't have a stone mill, the same transmission energy different. Now, what did it cut on A to B?
Thermodynamics.
1, 0,
That's A delta B.
black
It means
hole, singularity
change.
calc,
You change.
N1S
You take friction,
whatever
a whole
power.
bunch, and
It's good use forms. You
Clinton.
understand? The equation in the first part, A to the saw, is a line. And that line's got some box principles and that's a radius.
This
So
guy.
I could say it's got a certain area. And it might be globular. So saw, you know, we're just going to jump all the geometry, the 1, 2, 3
Mark all
bits,
of
and
this.
say N1, N2, and M. You know, Master Mason, no, MMN.
chess game.
Well, that's salty. Or there's salty now.
You made it
That's
this
good.
far.
And again, you know,
You.
that's
It's
good
not just
gravity.
me.
It's
NASA
timeline,
Bolt.
condensed variable, two things are certain. Salty is gonna
Murphy,
be
the
all
box,
salty.
scale.
The
On
salty
that,
is
according to
kind of
that,
the world
this thing
dictates
was
us.
over here with
Motivated, keep
a
it
photon was
moving.
doing
I
exactly
do
what I.
have the answer,
That's
and
just.
that's OP. Gorilla. Sun coming up in the morning, I guess me too. Now there's a line, obviously some physical limits about how much you can pack on the chalkboard. I can start with a saw.
Like I
And
said,
if I can
15
pick
minutes.
one of
It's
the
like, and in the break,
force
if you can catch it off on one of those special things, you got a good eye for that stuff. Pop it off to actually extend it. You know, you're saying, well, if the end goal was there on a common reciprocal, then an M2 of adjusting those variables.
You the jewel clock. Don't make my money. And that's about energy transmission. As soon as you get out there and they get out there, and this thing hits and wings over there, it's gonna have a field, a EM field, magnified paperwork variables, and then they make the collision, right? And then it keeps going.
You're fine. You're fine.
Down
Quick,
over here on this straight line that I can drop back down the floor X. It's Schrodinger's cat. So if it was in one of those boxes, and that was the right number, this is not a question. At the cat is dead or alive.
Yeah.
Did I put a student on that chessboard? Did I take his queen from him right in
It
front
kind
of
of
him
starts
in
with
math
like
class?
the Python. I mean,
might not
obviously
be the
that's
biggest
saw.
critic.
Saws are saws, XYZ, given
You
the.
know, that's your move, man. That's out
the
there.
button.
It's XYZ. That's the box. The save. Pull back the bow, kid.
The button gets bouncing around pretty
I'd
good.
love to save the mill. You know, you program guys and get them to. You get the, the one on the low end of the
Yeah,
intelligence
the
spectrum.
GOD's a problem. I
Why
could,
everybody in the group says, I
but
can do what the number is, but you
nope.
turn 'em. What's the program?
I'm not about to get wound up,
Math,
falling
F1,
asleep,
Y, psychology,
getting in a problem with
computer
brother.
engineering. Take the
I
views,
do
put
this.
it
I
in.
take out garbage, right? And if there's one of them over here, and it was over here doing this, there's a shovel. It was right there the first day when I found it. Guess where I put that bitch? I put that bitch right back.
Desk, and then I'm at the, how do I market this that you're going to do? Because I got the engineer, and that engineer's a rock, XYZ, need a list in terms, and that's a specific one given the criteria of the job description in gravity.
Sometimes imagine if you were on the other side of that though. Now it's like that was pretty good. A couple years back, and he's still not lit on fire. Listen to this, trying to.
Taking bunks in the bill. Ground guy, you the operator in the skid steer. I want to see you running heavy equipment. I want to pick that thing up with your mind right now. Condense it, crush that thing like a chronicle cube, man. This is the physics. This is the real deal. You can weigh that. That has weight, time for resumes, function for value. I know right where that particle goes.
Alright, photon banging around. Well, enjoy the fall. You could start from the bottom and rise. When you get back down at the bottom, watch it on the way back up. Well, they're good with the pride, you know.
Every day we sitting at the desk. Information technology spot. I'll sit in the chair. I'll do the job. But while we're at it, we'll also be a professor of mathematics, and we'll be a professor of psychology and human behavioral sciences for the connections of each other. And
Oh, I got him smoked. Because I noticed the physicist when they the boss running the Hydron Collider rock cutting.
14, 17, RN up on the board, and I'll tell you, what's the next series? What if I told you these were places? So, like, Jack is
here,
14th
this the plate down there, could be over here, and again, you know,
just based on that. Could be a double parallel
they're gonna hit you with some of those Einstein numbers,
this wave
a bunch of those names, specifically, not local, non-local. In the way they know, but they're still worth $1 million if you know that stuff. AVE, talking about the learning curve on the stem problems for the inches.
Let's break this down. Let's talk about the 5 foot. That is the force in hand, the 5 foot saw program. And
that thing happened, huh?
Technology. The first thing you gotta know about this is programming blocks. Now you see,
they'd have fun. When a big old schoolers are out, they'd be like, yeah.
And it has things to do with everything else. The n equals 1/2, and that n number, and I could talk about movement 1 on this, which, given the saw, is 18 inches, 12 inches, so on and so forth.
It's beautiful. It comes up in your journal. This is, again, every chemical you could, the reaction of your acid, fluorohydramonium, maybe you just a rainy day.
Time for this specific function of setting up this block, not just the costs of those things in M or M2.
Get the garden hose spitting over it.
Of that space-time grid all falling to a force that has a push against it, and the behavior fundamentally in the stock portfolio of the movements in this function. You know, this can turn in from F to X in negative numbers. There's a negative timeline because here we are stationing the block.
Well,
this way.
Let's pause that. There's a thing about a country store, a McDonald's, a Bluestone Log Factory. Schaefer over here, you're gonna be running the wood, bringing those in from his set to cut the costs on doing things for land usage, and you know, a cube. Just it's got some stuff on over here.
Because it's moving this way. Then the coefficient, this is the overview. And
of course, you got the mask out,
that little thing,
Bluestone Log.
Right hand spin, left hand spin in uranium-235 versus partially silvered experiment.
90 days.
Partially silvered mirror experiment with.
You don't even need them. You can go to the full review from the Facebook.
Right here.
Videotape them all.
But
the
photon, or the position mass of that quantum operator in this box that kind of has more, you know, it's got a little.
This takes a long time. You would need to set some of that up, cut out some of them jewels for which day you're dealing. Yeah. It gets wild. Tight. You have a lot of choices. Like I said, this is something that's out there in terms of what could be classified as a cognito hazard. You know, I mean, the informational line about Epson hole black holes is bunny hunting singularities named lambda on the mill floor. Anytime I can use a lambda graph, a matrix that gives me a dot vector kind of thing that allows me to give me a standard inch, a Roman inch, use an imperial metric, you know, some way to quantify the measurement based on the system. Well, some are just unifiably linked together because they were larger based on the topics. Not that Newton and Einstein or Larry the boss or whoever can't quantify a U, a V, a W, a X, a Y, a Z. I'm gonna give you a standard matrix coordinates there, whoever's the upside down. I mean, because they're all y f over x. This is y f over x. There's a whole big deal about why that motor differential, this being x, y, z plus t, separating it from the event, saying I wanted money, this is the amount of it, it has to travel at speeds that were in the index of what animal or critter based physics system needs that system, and any kind of wobbles that well, I mean, I'll make it whatever I want. That equals 0, right? You get 0, that's a neutral state. I don't want necessarily neutral state if I'm looking for a positive state, but I don't always want the positive state. If you leave the saw on auto drop, sometimes you get issues on the dynamics of some of this other alternate equation stuff. Also, -1 physics. That's a no-go option as far as what ground usage to AU, AV, AW, AX, AY, AZ. I have multiple choices: AX, AB, or AX, BX, AX, CX, or AX, BX, AX, BY. Yeah, Beals and Vermonts. So, this Copenhagen, me being Copenhagen, salty Copenhagen interpretation for the people in the field based on my field theory of XYZ. You'll see it come up a lot: M1, M2, 42, 14, 17, 19, in that order. This is about sexual fundamental failure, safety, quality, quantity, fire starter stuff. And usually you'll feel it in there. It's going to be hard to argue. Usually when you get them in the position where they're supposed to be, and you can get a kid where they're supposed to be, but then they know detail. It's a timeline thing as much as there's the top end Z sets of those that have that index of code, kind of all the letters, things you need to spell it out by. Just we're using English as the base code: XYZ, ABC, vertical limit. The roof around, I'll be still around. Who knows? 1420, 1720, Coco Gorilla. It's earth. It's water, but it's earth. Oh yeah. Well, it's about plays. I like Munis and Magnus. About the play, had some. There's a bunch. All these cutters. Look at this. Again.
Okay, so
We getting George Carlin again, just laying it out, dealing with stuff. In the way that, I do my own Bluestone militia thing, maybe, just in case, cut it off, throw it in the bucket, try one of the other models, Does it do that? Can I get them both together? Yeah, so that way when I get the Schrodinger guy that's like, oh, it's gotta be this, or it's gotta be that. Yeah, Tom, where you at? Let me, oh, why does it always go to that one? Don't go to that one. Line tamer, come on, Tom. There we go. This is the kitty we want, right here. Much better. Tom Kitty. Not necessarily the other stuff there.
okay.
Room 20. Take you there.
Okay,
You got something to say? Probably.
Along with the entire reference, I know it's a lot of information, guys. I wish I could clean it up all in one perfect shot.
Lucy.
We're working on it. That's kind of the goal. So I do have some information additional before I posted any of this. Videos stacked up, but transformation to information or information technology. Here I'm using a certain manifold.
You want an Excel PowerPoint definition that a droid outputs on a fucking app you can make 99 cents off? Yeah. Alright.
I'll take another stab at this, given
And integrated into the prison system, apparently.
what I read for the information of the position. Sure, it's at the website level. What I read
No.
here, whether I
None of those things. What the fuck were they doing?
really isn't too concerning to me as far as what Director of Information Technology represents, short of what you see. And so I got to sound a certain way and do a certain thing, kind of look at certain things.
Well, like I said, there's different kind of animal up there. You gotta be brutally honest. Brutally honest with what hurts. And how you scrub it out and get the steel brush in there and go get Gorilla's nuts clean for the mechanic.
Of how this function works, given somebody who may not have a master's degree or the programming experience.
Big yellow man, just getting on there.
Variable of MOS 8-bit clock systems and the resistors notes and the verbatim of what that function is against me knowing 30.
Granddaddy's 35. Can take it off the shelf. Walk out there. Put it back on the shelf. And just let the universe clean it up. No, we're done with it.
Understanding the working form of what that is, given from the system, if it's workforce related in terms of the personnel office, oversight, Sears, function, whatever.
State Troopers.
I mean, for what it is a comic book. This
No.
is the realistic idea of an application of the understanding to choose.
What do you want them to do? How hard? Alright, this is how it is. This is paperwork on it. You do these things, this is the contract. I had to fight for you for this. Get this freaking information.
The left-hand spin on uranium-235, given the physics of what you have to know and how you have to play certain circumstances. Gain information given the desk, seeing the limitations. If this sequence dies at that function, how is this really more effective?
I do Marines to cops for the Masons across the board on the top, and obviously integrate that to the business. Like I said, it's the state, it's the town road crew, because that's all to the taxes across the board that bases any kind of other infrastructure that luckily we can have away from transportation of goods to the 2 pounds of wheat, 2 pounds of barley thing. Kind of want to do better. Yemen. I get the system about people, don't get me wrong. Ooh.
JavaScript for computer programmers, and to the engineer in the college up the road, it's an 8-bit
Good
clock.
luck.
Whatever limitations
Is he
on
gone?
basis on breaking down that 40K and researches that is individually saved.
Yeah, those are good players to bring up.
Technology increasing, finding dark matter value, working my way to the upper end of what 70K a year would look at.
Damn right, man. It's right up there with Conquest. Like I said, there's only a few people that hold back that ball, and they're like, no, and it's here. It's like, no, cost,
I've been
no.
stonemasing around for a while. I get the desk to the marketing and safety and quality and quantity. Definitely go to the stock in a company. Transmission of information and information technology, how saws work, safety operating,
Mechanic books,
equipment, crew systems in town, the bridge models.
flight log,
Of the overall
command directive, military joint chief staff dictionary terms. You're gonna need to hammer out Sun Tzu at least once, the whole thing, word for word, in one of these. Something does to your brain. Hillbilly Spinner design is a good test model to look at and think about how you want to design your one-page condensed squishy cat. Farmer Brown, Lamb to Kelk, asking the cat the perspective about the sheep, looking at what's relative to the Andromeda paradox. It's like, this is the collision. You're in it. Yeah.
In terms of the proper notation, see, for me, hopefully the interjection might have put a little stress or anxiety in terms of that transmission of Oracle-based flipping cards on a practice thesis that you're experimenting rat ecotopia style for the office of an inpatient.
Drink the Kool-Aid. Do it.
Certainly the dean, or mathematically.
Oh, not me, man. They went there with my actual. I picked it up and sold it.
Momentum, while dealing with kids that have engineering millennium gaps that define the shorter model or ways to connect this, hub this information.
Well, brings it back. Kind of softer thing, allows you for your mistake. Throws a master did like that, but sat at the table and played the game with little bones himself.
2 weeks a year program. Do you make it to the door? Quantum nature, some of the applications that have to be geometry.
Good binaries. Just old Sarge Mage Bowl, right?
But it's essentially, this is a series of moves, and because stonemason parallels the director of technology at the plane, the length of the tree, owner
Board.
or
Magnetic
function
north, true north, polar north.
nation.
There ain't nobody fine, boy.
Circuit board for what this represents in Earth's transition.
It's just 8 brothers outside waiting for you to demote me or do something wrong, or just that it's not even right to the standard they're rolling inside here and show you what a military operation looks like. Just drop a banana on them.
Thermodynamics at that point, given
Yeah.
FMA, gravity, finding stuff. I mean, we could go all day about where, who's
this fucking hillside over there, we're just kind of holding it down in the reactor core, trying to figure out with the railgun.
Just to kind of see how this job is relative from Delhi and the product.
Just rip down the barrel.
More efficiently.
Go get the round out of the ground, just have to rebuild the railgun every time.
Great guys, manager levels. What those outputs would represent. And it's hard from just understanding note breakdowns in college and the differential analyzation.
Definitely. So,
Tones and frequencies that
they're on your ass.
different dimensions of just being a person. Well, people hear McDonald's all the way through. It has to be functioned. The proper quantum mechanics, director of McDonald's down here, obviously, 3 or 4.
Yeah, but it'd be big if you hit.
Get that information psychologically. In a lot of this,
It's in there for bar. They're doing it.
states and gaining capitalization.
Bone phone.
Figure out 2 week, 3 week, if it's 70K and I can cut off.
Hit him with it.
Studies,
Try.
$1 a shot, we
If I got a call, man.
education get used on your resume.
What number did you hear? If
Right,
I
so
would.
double and triple, and at that point, living at triple point, yeah. If it was chemistry, this is the housing of the aluminum foil and the. But what house is really the level to the MIT being a computer programmer, engineer variable to this, based on a master's degree, to the student who has to first walk in and not really understand. This right here is.
It's a workforce program you walk into. Well, just Delhi at their desk. Nice courtroom right there. Beautiful masonry, brickwork, a statue standing out front. Beautiful stonework on a patio. The building itself for the director is right across the street. You know, you ask them, well, can I just go over there and hand it to this? I'd like to have a conversation with them. Maybe I want to talk to them with this being a workforce program. No, you got to get voted in from the town, huh? Well, I get Delhi. I get it. I understand. I get it.
It gets pretty intense. I would certainly.
Well, alright. Okay. What else do we got?
If this was nothing that they could do, but certainly how to idealize to somebody in the mayor's office, how to take
You go down to you go to the workforce program, which is farther in Delhi, another place where they do it. You go to the internet, you go to Indeed.com, fill it out. I mean, anything you could, it's just basically a library computer for what it does. And somebody watching, stay motivated. I'm sure you're in here for probation or parole or some shit. So do it. Good. I'll help you. Yeah, sure. Click. You're good. And then they don't even do that. I'm like, no. Just maybe time out and just we're there. Do this.
Usually I'm in a box around the run. Like I said, they do the cost for the system, figure it out, it's the way.
I'm all for the ladies. I'm glad I brought that Saw program and made them stamp every one of them certified. Delhi, you seen this, right? And you did nothing with it. You didn't give them a call. You mailed it back. Yeah, and you.
Social obligations on the street to kind of, that's a whole, that's something worth doing, and then I have the free time. Short of
Prison system goes to not just the. They already have a fairly good MP, PT, NP test for jail, Delhi in itself. Not necessarily prison, but you'd use that for pod training and stuff like that. It's like, well, you could watch CNN, and that's freedoms for fair. I mean, at the point, it just.
brute force algorithms in the force program is really it's negative, positive, both positives.
You know, there's cells. You can just blueprint this building. I mean, then it's like no library, no books about nuclear fusion. There's got to be a fucking library around here somewhere. Some freaking Karen and the director of information, Sophie Star, just blinking, telling me the megaparsecs I am from this thing with the Omega 42 Blinky 8-bit game. Come on.
Each one having a connected system that kind of depicts what its physics is. Why I don't know what this air molecule.
No, but I'm watching you put it all together, Not seeing Ben Eater here.
So this is the hardest
That's what we
test
got,
that
brother.
somebody
I
at this
get it.
interpretation level, first day champion, let's bring it out. Pro, bridge team, let's get it. Catch you on
Well, you send them in there. There's going to be some old school vets that do it good. I mean, firstly, for what it is. It's infrastructure tax models. You want that done to what model of efficiency? Trump signs, Biden signs. How benevolent? How far outside the town limit? Yeah, Como. You got all the good ones at CPAC there. Anyways, just what else you got here, Salty? Oh yeah, why you going through my shit, Salt Sharps? You stealing my dough? What do we got? Oh no, this is fun. I see why you might want to skip through that. Look at that. You'd have to kind of understand some shit. Gotta watch them all. And Bolt Beast. That's where I usually found that one in boulder climbing like that when they're doing the big sets. It's like a super hard mountain that somebody just gets up there, free climbs, drills into bolts, and clicks in. Doesn't die. Again, 13 Zodiacs, 12 Zodiacs. This isn't optics. This is pretty much the building schematics for what it is, and then sometimes the pieces. Given this, oh shoot, who was it? I just saw one a little while ago about. It was a woman there. She made up one of these diagrams about some disease rate in World War II or something like that. And so this is again the pipes for what this is. You could scale that a little different, but there would be some kind of HUD variable for the hadron collider, laser beam, spectrum kind of bit to it. Most commonly, I just go, well, you're born in the summer. Most likely, you're gonna get your dick wet, brother, in summer. You're gonna try real hard. It's a little extra into it, but most commonly, just in general. Well, it's more about, well, you're Pisces, huh? I mean, tell me your sign. Right now, we're a little bit heavy on this side of it, so seasonally, you don't usually do so good. That's an extra little step of refraction, some muon in there, and she got it. And that's the topology of the general staying on the coffee desk, because he's getting shaky. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, for me, I mean, I could check that time, 29, 29, 29, 29, 29, 29, 28. So there we go. We're in about a day. Lockdown.
Actually been working this a little bit here. We'll do a quick little tutorial. I don't know, not a tutorial, but I'll show you what I can do with it.
Okay, so that was the one I already did. There was another one where I did it.
Okay, so I've been dropping a couple of references.
This is very good. When you're dealing with what some of the reference characters are that happen in the office, you should design your Mason robot like their orc or ranger or what do you got there? Necromancer. I see a triangle right there. M theory, W theory. What do you want? What are we making for coping here? This is a beautiful code. I got it sitting around right here. This is nasty. Sun Tzu, double lay down with a multi. I could fill it in just random number bases and give them a code as long as the number's good. And the other cipher that has this, when you double it down to Sun Tzu, Bible quotes, whatever, you could pack in extra whole paragraphs into it. Do whatever. No spaces, no system. No, you're not getting. The flank left. You're gonna have to figure out some ground techniques on it. Be pretty easy. We would start to see the quote. The quote probably means something. I'm double down in with the cipher. Pick which one I want. Fight where the enemy is, and and then write a message underneath that you can decipher. It's about time code differential. You train those things. You'll get into V at the top here. Geodesics on stuff. Yeah. Because like I said, these points right here that he's talking about, kind of just the stone mill. Is the dude over here, here, and they're morphing all around inside the area of this object floating down the pipe. These, you have to imagine these planes down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's about right. And he's about where the equators live. That's fun.
Elaborate on my thesis in a Master Mason note here.
Just deep down the rabbit hole. Because there's this. And it's like, there's this. Dry out that bay. Lay that stuff down. Trick Daddy. This is fun. Yo, you should. If you've done things right, they'll be spookier than normal. It's like, no, it's not normal. Wow. Okay. People make money for doing stuff like this. Carving it up, cutting it up one way or the other. Probably take them 8-10 hours, maybe more, a couple days. Run the block through, set it up. That thing is just monstering it down. If you're doing them right, they should.
Let's check this out. Final Bowser theme, huh? Super Mario 64? Is this a remix?
Bowser's
Sure
is
sounds
want to run the
already.
Demon Core, mark your feet. You just give them a position. Like I said, I gave it to the Tompkins and Johnson Roads pit. The their
60
wall, the
auto,
back pit.
really?
It's like a 2-hour.
That's great news.
But if you can crack all the ditches, you can,
That
talking
is-
about Bowser
That's
to
great
the
news,
devil
60
wobbles. Some
Whoa.
of that's Azazel running the stock models, hitting the sky. Oh, because I have fun with it
Yo,
like
this
that.
remix!
Design on Mario Maker. Jump
Wait,
at the
what?
flag. Why you have to?
What?
Maybe. Nah, not me. I'm not qualified to run this equipment and take on this kind of level of boss, that's for
Pedro!
sure.
Thank you for the tip, man. Be there for this too.
It's all day in the mill. I'm setting them up, knock them out, kind of not letting one slide through.
Super Meat Boy.
Just little ones, the little thing. Every time you lay down though, there's a rock in there though, it's got a split in it. You wouldn't think about the miss. How you hold it, where your hands are positioned, where you put in the chisel in the corner, you put it in the middle of it, like a newbie. You're just trying to get it in there. And somebody else forgets about it.
Yeah!
Gotta get it on the side and then not blow out that area. Let's bring up on it. How you doing today?
Damn, dude!
Looks like a bunny to me. Oh yeah.
Damn!
And the cougar and that big old brown bear. Just depends. It depends that day. For the most part, bigger is big.
Damn!
Once in a while, it's like, hey, this is the wrong time of year. Matter of fact, you should. Thanks for being my wingman. Come around, let me swag around for a while, make it look good. You're gonna get it back out of me. Alright. So moving on. I'm pink now. Apparently I broke the internet. Yeah.